Today I am going to tell you for class 12 some basic concepts, that is the electrical energy and power, which you have studied in the first book in part 1. Now here you see, for electrical energy, why I have taken this is not from the examination point of view, but this is for learning. You must learn, you must know something. This is not from any examination point of view. In electrical energy, you see that suppose this is a conductor, and when you have applied a potential difference, that means potential difference will be applied by the battery. That means this is a conductor and you have applied a potential difference. That means the potential difference will be given by the battery. Here this is, let the potential be VA, and here let the potential be VB. So this if this VA, it is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and VB, it is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. So naturally the VA, this potential will be at higher potential than VB. So VA, this end potential will be higher than the potential at VB. So here you see, when there is a potential difference, that means your electric field will be direction from the positive to negative, and your current is flowing through the conductor. So here, because there is potential difference, so the current is flowing naturally, and because there is potential difference, there is change in potential energy, because change in potential difference, that is VA minus VB, that is equal to change in potential energy divided by Q, this which you have learned earlier. So now the main factor is, I want to say that when there is a potential difference across the two ends, that means there is change in potential energy, and that change in potential energy, there is a change in potential energy. That means when there is a difference when there is a potential difference between A point and the B point, this is A point and this point, so your current will be flowing through from A to B, and the electric field direction will be from A to B. So when there is a potential difference, that means there is a change in potential energy of the charge which is flowing from A to B. There is a change in potential energy of whom? Of the charge. Let that charge be del Q, and that is the change in potential energy of the charge del Q which is flowing from A to B. So here, this change in potential energy, that will be equal to Q into V. V, it is the potential difference, VA minus VB, that is V. So del Q into V, that is the potential change in potential energy, and this will be minus because VA potential is at higher potential. So this will be VA, it will be negative, minus del Q into V. Now, according to conservation of energy, that is this potential energy is converted into kinetic energy, and because there is gain in potential energy, because there is difference in potential energy of whom? Of the charge del Q. So there is this, according to law of conservation of energy, this potential energy is converted into kinetic energy, and because of it the charge moves. And if the charge moves, that means, let us consider that the charge moves without collision, so your whole potential energy will be converted into kinetic energy. So that means the charge Q is moving without any collision. But it is without collision, probability of without collision is rare. There will be collision with the atoms and the ions, and when there is collision with the atoms and the ions, this electrons, free electrons, it collides with the during movement. When it collides with the atoms or ion, what happens? The atom starts vibrating, that means the atoms gains kinetic energy and it starts vibrating. So when the atoms vibrates, the energy, heat energy is dissipated. When it starts vibrating, the heat energy is dissipated. So now here your power, here comes your power. So we have got, that is the change in potential energy, that is the energy per unit time, that is the power. We know that change in energy, that is the change in energy per unit time, that is the power. So your potential energy was del Q V. Now you know that I is equal to del Q by del T. So your del Q will be I del T. So your potential energy, that will be I del T. Potential I del T into V. So the power is energy per unit time. So I del T into V divided by del T. Del T it gets removed, and the only thing remains is that I and V. So P is equal to IV. So this is how we get the power V is equal to I, V into I. I am not interested in deriving the formula. I am only interested in the knowledge, that the knowledge is that any electrical instrument, when current flows through it, it gets heated up. Why? That I want to explain. That is, during the free motion of the electrons, the charges, when there is a potential difference, when there is a difference in potential energy, this collides with the ions and atoms, which increases the kinetic energy of the ions and atoms, and the atom starts vibrating, and this vibration dissipates heat energy. I only want to stress on this point. I am not interested in deriving the formula because you all know about it. So this is not from examination point of view, this is only for you to learn the basic thing what happens in our day-to-day life. And the next important basic I want to tell is that in AC current, your VRMS or IRMS, this is the reading which we get in the voltmeter or in ammeter. Remember that. The VRMS or IRMS, that is the voltage which we read in the voltmeter or in ammeter. And the next important point I want to tell you that when in LCR circuit, your I will be maximum when XC is equal to XL, that is impedance by capacitance is equal to impedance by inductance. When both are equal, then your IM, the current, will be maximum, and the frequency will be 1 by 2 pi root over L into C, where L is the inductance, C is the capacitance. This is the frequency when your IM will be maximum in an LCR circuit. So that means you will maximum, you are going to get the maximum IM. So this is the basic. What is the basic I want to tell you? That is the VRMS or IRMS which you are calculating in AC current. These are actually the these are the readings which we get in a voltmeter or in an ammeter. So this is all about today for class 12.